There comes a time in every man's life where he must undergo the most painful events in his life, and thus his eyes and ears, and maybe even his mouth, bleed to an unspeakable rage from the fiery depths of hell's anus. Episode 6 of Grinds My Gears is about anime fans. I'm sorry. Now, it's come to my attention that every message board, every site has anime fans. Hell, I guess years ago, from about 98 to about 2002, 2003, I was a huge anime fanatic. But, you know what? Fuck that. It's getting out of control. And, you know, if you don't want to listen to it, shut this off right now, because I swear to God, I'm going to rip you a new asshole. So here we go. The other day I went to New York Comic Con, and it was great. It was a spectacular event. I've been to 2 of them prior to this one, so this one is my 3rd. It was fun. But I remember the reason why I hated going. Oh, well, I didn't hate. The reason why I didn't like the second one I went to, and that was because when I went, it wasn't even like a comic convention at that point. It was more anime than comic books, and it was all hentai and fans dressed up. And at that point, I really just wanted to punch somebody in the face, because, not for nothing, say what you want about anime getting huge, it's a comic book convention above all things. Yes, we could celebrate the media, and we could have movies, and we could have video games, and we can even have anime. But it's not fucking anime convention. You've already got more anime conventions than fucking comic book conventions around the fucking world. And if I have to hear one more time that somebody says that there's not enough anime fans out there, I'm gonna come over there and rip your fucking nuts off. Because that's a load of fucking bullshit. So what happened was, I went back in, let's see, I went, I don't know, 2 years ago to the second one, and the one before that I skipped the 3rd Comic Con. And I remember the second one, I left so unsatisfied. I liked it, but there was something there that just destroyed it for me. So this year I went back with different people, my brother and my friend. And I have to say that the oversupply of anime fans really pissed me off. But the good news above all was it was majorly a comic book convention again. And the video game section got reported as an increase by 50%, and it was true. It really did. So, on top of that, comic books and video games, they also had a lot of movie representation. So, not for nothing, but the anime guys got a few booths and got shoved to the side as the 10,000, 15,000 people walked around finally in peace. See, I don't care if somebody's into anime. That's, you know what? You're into it. I said I was a fanatic years ago. I still love Dragon Ball Z. GT's not my favorite, but I still love that series. And that will remain with me, and I admit it. And I always tell people, you know what? You could bitch, I could bitch as much as I want about anime. That's the one that's always going to stick with me, because I was absolutely obsessed with it. But you know, there comes a point where you grow out of certain things, that or you get a realization just how stupid and repetitious something becomes, and thus that's where the anime lies. You see, I don't get it at this point. Anime to me used to be this big fucking awesome thing where it was like, you know, yeah, maybe there was one series about the hero saving the girl or having the bitchy friends and they fight the villain that's like indestructible, or you know, maybe it's you know, about fighters that have to get stronger and etc. Like stuff like that. But I mean, you're doing it in every fucking anime series. So I always have to try to find that one series that can maybe possibly get me somewhat into liking it again, and then I end up losing more respect for it even when I finish it. Best example, Full Metal Alchemist. Hold on, I know what you're gonna say. What? How did he hate that? I didn't hate it. I actually loved the series. Then, when the final season or so, or I guess the final 10, 20 episodes continued, it turned into a pile of shit. If you don't know what Full Metal Alchemist is, it started up on Adult Swim about a year or 2 ago. It follows the story of two boys, Ed and Al, as they tried to bring back their mother using an old age form of science called alchemy. The real alchemy is actually used upon for potions and herbs and etc. But in this series, they decide, hey, why don't we take that an extra step, make little pentagrams, and make things like dirt turn into bread because of what it's composed of. They use like science, but they kind of it's anime, so they over exaggerate it. They try to bring the mother back. The little brother's body gets totally destroyed, and then he has to put him into a suit of armor, and the other brother loses an arm and a limb. An arm and a leg, excuse me. So, that's how the Full Metal thing comes in. It's almost like an old age piece of mechanism, like robot. But the series was great, because they were looking for a stone called the Philosopher's Stone, just to bring back the mother. Well, bring back them, not the mother. They're not doing that again. And, it was really great, and it was very capturing, and I was very intrigued by how different and how much they put it away from other animes. But then, it took a turn for the worse. They introduced these characters called the homunculi, which are essentially artificial humans with, like, no souls, but they're very evil and they want to be real. So they have their own motives. I don't know how that works. Yeah, it's cool that they introduced them, and there's villains, etc., and there's all different kinds of state people after them and whatnot, but there's a point in the series where it takes a turn for the worst, and that's when they actually meet them. Not only do they get their asses kicked, but they get their asses kicked for the next 20 episodes or so. And yeah, you know what, we get it, they're strong, but if everybody in a state has heard about a little boy that could do alchemy, and becomes a part of a government, well, the state, whatever it is, that's totally absurd. But this whole series, it just takes a plummet, in my opinion. They get weaker. There's just something that didn't make sense, because the first episodes of that series made them such standout-ish characters and made them so motivational, because you really felt bad for them. You really, they brought back they tried to bring back the mom, and they fucked up everything. And it's just sad. So, the series is pretty deep like that. But then that happens, and then somehow at the end of it all, I believe Ed gives up his life and goes into a portal to give up to give back his brother his body, which is very nice. But here's the fucking kick to the groin. Even after all the ass beatings, and then the villains get sucked into this portal thing, what happens is that Ed gets fucking dropped off in Germany during World War II. This whole series takes place like 20 years before that. So what the fuck? That's what I'm saying. Stupid little things like that ruin good shows. And then everybody's telling me there's a movie out, and I will check the movie out, because I don't want to sound entirely ignorant, but, I mean, shouldn't you have just added that to the series? Because I don't want to fucking waste my time or money on a fucking movie when I could have watched it on TV in the comfort of my own home. Just fucking throwing that out there. Fucking stupid, in my opinion. Again, I mean, you know what, do what you want. Shit like that. I just feel like people take all these fucking cartoons way too seriously. And that's another thing. Stop trying to differentiate anime from cartoons. It's fucking in the Asian art style, and it was created over there in those kind of countries like Japan and whatnot. But guess what? It's a fucking cartoon. Graphic novels? It's a fucking comic book. How about you just call it that and stop trying to separate it from everything else like it's some kind of fucking cool kids club. It's a fucking cartoon, and it's a fucking comic book. I'm getting tired of it. Oh, did you read the graphic novel? No, I read the fucking comic book, you dipshit. Oh, well, you read it backwards, so technically a graphic novel. Fuck you. Are you serious? Look, I was in the manga, whatever. I was into that years ago, okay? I know all about it. I'm looking at a stack right now that I need to actually do something with, because this is sad. I don't even read them. Nothing differentiates them. It's a comic book above all fucking things. You want to argue about this with me? Be my guest. You're gonna be wrong. It's a cartoon, guys. Yeah, it's a different style, and it's, whatever. A little different from, obviously, from American cartoons where they try to make you laugh. But it's like, it's just the same fucking thing. There's nothing different about it. There's nothing significant about it at all. And I can't tell you how much that bothers me when somebody says that. Anyways, that's like being afraid to consider yourself a cartoon. How's nobody gonna take you seriously? Millions of people already watch anime as it is. Anime. Fucking hell, man. Let's see here. Another thing that fucking bothered me at this Comic-Con